Hi, this video will cover the topic of organizational structures, including contemporary structures. I will review how using teams can enhance motivation and performance. Then I will go over authority and relationships within an organization. Next, I will cover the degree of centralization. After that, I will review organizational design and the informal organization. And lastly, I will review trends in organizational structure as it relates to the textbook Introduction to Business by Lawrence Gitman and others published by OpenStax in 2018. Organization is one of the four functions of a manager. Organizing includes allocating resources and coordinating tasks. While assigning tasks and organizing resources, the manager will develop an organizational structure that helps detail and define the relationships and roles within an organization. An organizational chart is a visual representation of the formal organizational relationships within a company or firm. These help staff clearly see a chain of command and know where and who to reference when seeking guidance. There are four ways that managers departmentalize or categorize staff in an organizational structure. First, there is functional departmentalization. This is when the departments are categorized based on the primary functions performed by an organization. An example of this type of departmentalization is having a marketing department, a finance department, a human resources department, sales, and so on. The second type of structure is product departmentalization. This is when departments within an organization are based on the goods or services that they are selling. For an aircraft repair company, this can include having a department that focuses only on pumps and valves, and a department for engines, a department for brakes, and so on. The third type of structure is called process departmentalization. This would be categorized by a process. For a furniture manufacturer, this could include a lumber cutting department, a painting and finishing department, and a shipping department. The last type of structure is the customer departmentalization structure. This would include having a wholesaler and a separate department for retail customers. These are the four ways managers departmentalize their resources. In the last slide, we covered the four traditional organizational structures. This slide focuses more on contemporary structures within an organization. There are two forms of structure that are becoming more common today. First is the matrix structure. This type of structure combines two of the traditional forms of departmentalization, functional and product. This structure brings people from different functions together for a specific project. This structure is when each employee has two supervisors. One is a line manager and the other is a manager based on their specific function. There are lots of advantages to this types of structure, but it also poses some challenges because of the complexity. The second type of contemporary structure is a committee structure. This is a structure that gives authority and decision making to a group of people rather than one individual. This can be challenging, but it also has the benefit of having multiple perspectives and diversity. These are two types of contemporary structures. Using teams can help a company enhance employee motivation and performance. However, it's important to understand the dynamics of group behavior and the difference between teams and groups. A work group is a group that shares resources and coordinates efforts, while a work team is responsible for doing the same, but they must also collaborate by sharing knowledge, skills, abilities, and resources. There are three types of teams. First, there is a problem solving team, which includes a group of employees who are working together to solve a specific problem within an organization. The second is called a self-managed work team. This includes a team of people who have the same overall goal, but they are working asynchronously and able to manage themselves without supervision. The third is called a cross functional team. This is a team of people who are at the same level of authority within an organization, but they are all in different functional areas. This could involve a person from the marketing department and a person from the finance department, and so on. These are the three types of teams within an organization. After companies develop their structure, they must establish relationships and determine who each employee must report to when certain issues or questions arise. Managerial hierarchy is when there are levels of management within an organization. This structure may consist of top level management, a middle management, and a supervisory management hierarchy structure. The top level managers have the most authority, then middle, and so on. When an organization has a well defined hierarchy, they develop a clear chain of command, which helps to distribute authority and gives a particular individual legitimate power over other employees. Span of control relates to the number of employees a manager has authority over. There are two types, wide and narrow. If a manager has a wide span of control, then they are the authority figure for up to 50 or more employees. If the span is narrow, then a manager may be responsible for as little as 1 to 2 employees. There are advantages and disadvantages to both. Choosing how to structure the authority and relationships within an organization depends on the organization and the functions of each department. The degree of centralization is determined by the nature of the task, location of workers, ability of the managers to delegate tasks, the amount of interaction and feedback, and the level or skills and motivation of workers. The final component of an organization's structure is to determine the level where important decisions are made. Centralization is the degree to which formal authority is centralized and in what areas or levels where decisions are made. If an organization is centralized, then the top management would be responsible for making key decisions within an organization. Decentralization is when there are multiple decision makers within an organization. It is when various departments and people within the organization have the authority to make important decisions for the company. Organization design is decided by a manager based on what will be suitable for the company. There are two models for organizational design, mechanistic and organic. A mechanistic organization is also considered a tall organization. It's defined by a high degree of job specialization, stringent departmentalization, and having many levels of management with a narrow span of control and centralized decision making. Organic structures or flat organizational structures are the opposite, with low degrees of job specialization, loose departmentalization, and fewer levels of management with a low span of control and decentralized decision making. There are numerous factors to consider when determining the design of an organization, but the business in which a company operates and its industry has a large impact on what types of organizational design is ideal for a specific company. Up to this point, I have been focusing on the formal structures of an organization, but it's important to also consider the informal organization. Informal relationships are developed within an organization naturally to support social interactions and networking. They serve as a way to communicate with others and help to support and motivate employees. There are many ways that people within an organization can form an informal organization. Some examples include friendships, carpooling, or interactions with others that are outside of the organization. Having other people who share information and somebody else to go to for support can benefit the formal organizations within a company. As I prepare to explain the future trends in organizational structures, it's important to note that the information in this video comes from a textbook that was published in 2018. So many things may have changed since then. Some of the trends covered in the textbook include reevaluating the effectiveness of existing organization structures and the potential for companies to re-engineer their structures based on their specific needs. Virtual companies, which have certainly increased since 2020, and the formal and informal relationships within virtual teams. Outsourcing is also something to consider, as many companies may seek outside services to source their employees in human resources, marketing, or other departments. And lastly, the potential for companies to merge with other international companies, which leads to the adjustment of having to structure a business to prepare for global mergers. These are the trends that are highlighted in the textbook. What trends are you seeing in the current business environment, and how can we prepare for these changes? Thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe to be notified of any new videos. Also, if you are a business instructor looking for more resources, check out the comments for a link to my store.